Herbert Park, Tom Scudamore. 3 is Rolling Mall, Sean Bowen. For Good Measure, Barry Geraghty in the silks of JP McManus. Valhalla, Richard Johnson for the Tizzards. And Tyros, who won at the Open meeting, Paul Townend. L'Aigle Royal, Harry and Dan Skelton. Driftwood Hayes, Connor Orr claiming 7. Temple Ross, you heard from Tom Humphries with Emma before the break. Dragon's Den, new yard today, Jackie Duplessis. And that one will be ridden by James Best, last year's winning rider. Patsy's Castle, Connor Schumacher, looking for an upturn in fortunes after a 15-day ban earlier and a nose defeat. Call to Order is the bottom one in the silks of Sumagna, trained by John Joe O'Neill, is here today, and Aidan Coleman takes the ride. And that horse, Call to Order, is the first one we'll see in the paddock in the company of Mick Fitzgerald and Jim McGrath.
Holidays this afternoon. Christmas is coming, so they're being quite generous with their days. I'm sure the jockeys won't agree with that. Big chance here for Connor Schumacher. Just had that narrow miss earlier on perfect candidate in the green jacket, Patsy's Castle. A mixed day for him with the big ban as well. When a jockey gets a chin like that in an earlier race, it's always good to see them get a little bit of consolation. Dragon's Den is not with the runners at the moment. They start off here. This is the World Hurdle starting point at the beginning of the back straight. And a major move for Temple Ross earlier on, with Tom Humphries taking off the £10. He's in the blue with the white seams, and latterly now this big move for Valhalla, black and yellow, worn by Richard Johnson on the 119 winner mark this season. Richard dominating the Jockeys' Championship. So about to walk towards the tape. Dragon's Den just about to join them now. Herbert Park is towards the 4 in the yellow sleeves on the left, colours carried by a horse called Golden Chieftain to victory at the festival a few years back. The Eagle Has Landed is handy as well. Sam Twiston Davis in the black and pink stripes. All these look as though they're going to race prominently. Very good looking horse for the Coolmore lads. Call to Order, dark blue jacket, son of presenting. Interesting to see how he goes here. He's got a very light weight today. Cheek pieces fitted for the first time. Might help a little bit. As Jim said, his jumping was a bit sketchy here last time, but in a good race, he's lightly raced, and he does look the part. They're coming in. Flag raised. And they are off, and Rolling Mall and Temple Ross was just a little hesitant as they stepped away and backed into 1 or 2 rivals. Currently in about 7th or 8th place as Rolling Mall jumps the first, but was also a little hesitant. And on his outside, Driftwood Hayes is right there in the blue and white jacket. Out wide, Herbert Park, Call to Order, and then the Eagle Has Landed. Valhalla on this near side, then black and yellow alongside Temple Ross. Then in the green jacket is Patsy's Castle as they clear the next, followed by Anteros. Out wide, L'Aigle Royal, and then in the McManus colours, For Good Measure, second last, and lastly Dragon's Den. Quickly on to flight number 3, and again Rolling Mall just shortening his stride going into that flight of hurdles, having a good look at it in the hands of Sean Bowen. Herbert Park is wide of Driftwood Hayes. Temple Ross in the end going off the favourite, 3-1. Renewed interest for Temple Ross. Valhalla 4-1. 2 big market movers in this field. So Rolling Mall, Driftwood Hayes and Herbert Park. Valhalla's up the inside of Patsy's Castle. Call to Order in the dark blue jacket. Out wide, the Eagle Has Landed as they jump the next. Then L'Aigle Royal and Anteros in the red sleeves, winner here at the Open meeting, the November meeting. Temple Ross is towards the inside. And then towards the rear still Dragon's Den. And just ahead of Dragon's Den, For Good Measure. So Rolling Mall, course and distance winner, turning left-handed at the top of the hill on this first circuit with a 2-length lead over Driftwood Hayes in second, and then in the yellow sleeves Herbert Park and Tom Scudamore. Further back Patsy's Castle and Connor Schumacher. To the outside of Valhalla, Call to Order. Wider out is the Eagle Has Landed, Sam Twiston Davis for Paul Nicholls. Temple Ross and Tom Humphries, blue-white seams further back in the field as they jump this one. And then Anteros and For Good Measure, L'Aigle Royal and Dragon's Den. Making their way now towards the turn into the home straight and on towards the flight of hurdles in front of the stands. There's a very long run between 2 out and the final flight on this new course. Much can happen between these two obstacles when the race is on the final circuit. Rolling Mall from Driftwood Hayes and Herbert Park and Call to Order. Valhalla's on the inside of Patsy's Castle on the left in the stripes. The Eagle has landed, then Temple Ross, followed by For Good Measure, who's quietly ridden by Barry Geraghty on the inside as they clear this flight. And then further back, L'Aigle Royale on the outside. Temple Ross is just being stoked along by Tom Humphries. Dragon's Den at the back. Let's have a feeling that Tom wanted to get away to a better start, but the horse backed in to one or two other rivals, just shied away at the tape. And now he finds himself in the second half of the field and not really travelling that well. Rolling Mall from Herbert Park and Driftwood Hayes and Call to Order. They're followed by Valhalla, and then Patsy's Castle, and the Eagle has landed. Temple Ross has responded a little up the inside, again just being bumped along for a couple of strides. For Good Measure and Teros still towards the rear of the field from L'Aigle Royale and Dragon's Den. So making their way down the back straight now on to the middle of the three on this part of the course, and still Rolling Mall has made it all so far. Herbert Park has always been handy, so too Driftwood Hayes on this near side. Call to Order right there, then the Eagle has landed. Valhalla took that fluently, and Richard Johnson almost taking a pull on landing in the black and yellow jacket there, full of running at the moment. Followed by Patsy's Castle, then Temple Ross and Teros well grouped together. Another hesitant jump from Rolling Mall, just forfeits the advantage momentarily, but the horse is doing better between the hurdles rather than over them, and is back in front. Rolling Mall from Herbert Park, Call to Order, looking dangerous on the outside as they head on up the hill towards the third last flight. Valhalla is back on the inner of Patsy's Castle. The Eagle has landed, and then Driftwood Hayes just drifting back through the field. Again, Rolling Mall having a little slowdown, going to the hurdle again, and was joined on landing by Call to Order. Herbert Park is third, and then on the outside the Eagle has landed under his big weight in this Citipost handicap hurdle. They're at the top of the hill. Temple Ross doesn't look like winning anything, trailing now, has dropped to the rear of the field and under pressure to little avail. So swinging left-handed and about to run downhill towards 2 out, and it's Rolling Mall from Call to Order. Herbert Park on the inside of Patsy's Castle. The Eagle has landed. Still no move from Richard Johnson on Valhalla towards the inside, and Teros is getting into it at this stage, just as he did at the open meeting, jumping 2 out. Call to Order landed in front, but there's a host of potential challengers. Dragon's Den has come into contention as well, and here Valhalla on this near side is running double. Valhalla now joining Call to Order as they run into the final turn. This long run to the final flight is not over yet, but Valhalla is going best. Is Valhalla and Call to Order, 2 lengths to For Good Measure, and Teros in the red sleeves, then Rolling Mall as they race on towards the last. Then the Eagle has landed, and Valhalla now just being pushed along, and Call to Order is staying on strongly, and Call to Order has shrugged off Valhalla. For Good Measure and Teros down the stand side. Big bold jump at the last by Call to Order. 2 lengths clear of For Good Measure second. Valhalla hasn't found very much. Up the hill, Call to Order leads the way, chased home by For Good Measure. Call to Order still looking a bit green, but he's sticking to the task and close to the finish. Call to Order and Aidan Coleman go on to score, and a horse of potential. In second, For Good Measure. Valhalla a little disappointing ultimately. Behind them in third, with Patsy's Castle coming through to possibly dispute that. Then Anteros and the Eagle has landed. Herbert Park, Rolling Mall, Dragon's Den, L'Aigle Royale, and the disappointing Temple Ross, and tailing off was Driftwood Hayes. Well, Call